Alright. So, Curse of Strahd. Yeah. If you want to, at the end of this session, before the next time that we play, I'll let you do that. Okay? So, you three have met before. You kind of have done a few small tasks here and there, clearing cellars of rats, the usual adventuring stuff. Now, we do find you in the woods after one particularly nasty quest. There was several bears acting up in the wilderness, acting weird, being terrorized by these wolves that were a little bit too smart, but you didn't manage to kill any of the wolves. You scared them off, and unfortunately had to kill one of the bears in the process. But you're camping in the middle of these woods, and it's a quiet night. The air grows chill, and your fire sputters as a low mist gathers around the edges of your camp, growing closer as the night wears on. By morning, the fog hangs thick in the air, turning the trees around you into just gray, ghostly silhouettes. Then you notice that these aren't the same trees that surrounded you the night before. As the morning rises, you can see through the mists where you used to see these oaken trees. There instead are spindly, leafless trees and pine, spruce, more boreal. And the chill that set in the night before hangs there. And the fog, you can swear you see shifting throughout it. Maybe a face here and there, maybe a claw reaching out. But that pale mist is just surrounding and seems ever bearing down. And as your fire is just about to sputter out, and as the mists are just about to close in on you, a pathway reveals itself through the mist. The path. Okay, you attack the lonely dirt road. There's just a road.
So I'm going to be only doing this. Yeah. Center up and everything. It's a little crazy. I mean, so much.
Yes, you do. It's early morning. It is very dim around. It seems it's very foggy. The fo- Yeah. So you can see down the path, the fog seems to split around it almost by design. And in the fog itself, you again see these pale, like, movements that sometimes form what could be faces or hands. It's odd, but at a certain point, the fog becomes almost like a wall that you can't even see through with your things that we know about. Um, what do you cast your light on, Dad? In order for the light cantrip to go off, you need to choose an object. By the way, you're only coming in through Chance's mic. I don't know if that's by design or by accident. That's why you've been cutting in and out. He's not muted himself through Discord, but... Alright. Going back to your special things we've talked about, down the path, you could swear that you see low cobblestone walls in the distance, like that around a small village, or around someone's garden, maybe. But you see, we hear you twice as well now, but we would like for the echo to cease, if at all possible. I think that he might be getting inputted from both mics at this point. If you could turn back to back at least. The problem is their inputs. It's not coming through their speakers. It's that both mics are picking up both of them. Because they're... you are Legion. Oh, yeah. If you purposefully go in one mic, we can just mute the other profile, if you'd like to do it that way. And if you did push to talk, that would resolve it as well. Many ways to skin this cat. Speaking of cat, where did Patricia go? I do not believe that would be helpful in our current situation. I don't think the problem is it feeding back through their speakers. I think it's just that they're too close to each other. Yes. If you just go and actively speak into Chance's mic, we can do it like that, if you want to. And we'll... Oh, he's just not even... Yeah. Well, that's because you weren't talking into Chance's mic. You were talking to the room, and his mic was picking you up every once in a while. Yes. Nah, I'm not picking up anyone. Chance is the only person who's picking things up. So just talking to Chance's mic and we'll resolve it later.
I just can't.
Yes, just actively talking to his mic. It just is whenever Chance muted himself. That was whenever it stopped working. Yeah. Alright, we'll just go with it for now. But you do see, in the distance down the road, the semblance of civilization, some low-hanging stone walls. If you start walking ahead, it'll be only about 30 feet that you'll be able to see the outline of it yourself. Dima will be able to start seeing that there are buildings here. They are very Transylvanian-esque buildings. Not in the street, no. Not yet, at least. You're not where you can only see like 2 or maybe 3 buildings at this point, and not even the whole parts of the building. You just recognize, hey, there's a building. It looks a little bit... there's not a lot of wealth here, you reckon, at least in this part of town. The roofs seem a little bit low. Maybe not by initial design, but maybe through settling and aging, the shingles and stuff have set in and dipped a bit. It's hard to tell at this distance. Maybe once you get past the stone wall. It's about 3 feet high, and the path goes straight through. Yeah, it appears to just be something to prevent small animals from getting in, discourage larger animals. That would be nature or survival. Yes. Insight is intention. Yes. So, if you want to know... So you could do history if you want to see if you've heard of this place specifically. You could do nature or survival. Survival you don't think would help you very much because you seem to have lost your way somehow while camping overnight. And nature might be able to tell you like what type of climate you're currently in. Yes. Make me a religion check then, for that. It was an impossible roll anyways. What was your religion? So, you feel there's a bit of distance, but the threat is still there. It feels a little bit as if... Have you ever held a string in between 2 people, and you could strum the string and feel the vibrations? String, thread, whatever you want to. Yeah. So, but you know how whenever you're holding the line taut and you can strum it and feel it? Imagine there's another person putting their finger in the middle of that thread. And it's you can still it's there. You are holding onto the thread, and the thread is taut, but it feels as if there's something else in between you and the other end of the thread. Any what? Aim at the mic. You can use a religion check as well for that. I think that, yeah, if the cleric wants to, not the cleric, the paladin wants to use divine sense, that would do. Alright. So, the mists around you, and even the land underneath you, nothing is like overtly like, oh, this is like a strong source of evil. But there is like this lingering dread. The ground, there's a tiniest thread of necromancy in it, so you feel a little bit of undead. But it's not triggering as if an undead person, it's like the soil itself is necromantic. The mists seem necromantic. And there's almost a little bit of a fiendish presence far in one of the directions outside of your usual range that you feel the heat of from this distance. A fiendish presence. Yeah. But in opening yourself up to your divine sense, you get goosebumps all over. It almost hurts. Alright. So... Alright, you're gonna extinguish your light? Alright, you're still in dim light, so you can still see. Do you tell your cleric friend to do the same? Alright. Yeah. So, as you're entering town, this dirt road turns to more of gravel. Not cobblestone, but gravel. And you're starting to see some tall houses. They're this dark gray that looks... It almost reminds you of like this tombstone rock. But the cobblestone in its structure is this darker gray. It looks dirty, almost like your friend there. And the wood is dark, almost brown, but mostly gray wood itself. You notice a couple of closed-up shops. Doesn't seem that they've opened for the day. You don't see a single light. Even the tavern that you pass, its doors are shut, and there's not light or noise. And as you're looking at these buildings to the side, you hear a slight whimpering noise in the middle of the street. And as you turn, you see two children. It's hard to tell. If you're still using your divine sense, I don't think so. Don't see any reason why. No. So as you call out, the taller one, you hear a feminine voice come from it as she seems to shush the other, shorter figure. And she turns and says, "There's a monster in our house." And she points behind her, and you see the mist almost part a little bit. And you see a tall brick row house that has definitely seen some better days. The windows are dark, and it has a gated portico on the ground floor, and the gate stands ajar, covered in rust. And the houses on either side of it are completely obviously abandoned. The windows are boarded up. It's a gate. Here, I need to actually turn on my light in my room. I haven't seen it, but at night it keeps us up. There's howls from somewhere in the house. Yes, you can. Our parents keep it trapped in the basement, and our brothers kept up every night by it. What was your insight? 18? You sense no deceit from these children. They are not actively trying to deceive you. My parents keep it in the basement. There's... Oh, I don't... Am I? I'm purposefully stuttering, but... Our parents keep it locked in the basement. It hasn't hurt any of us, but no one's been able to deal with it. They're at the house. They do all that they can to keep the whatever it is down there. In the village, they're hiding from the devil, the demon, Strahd. He's the one that comes and steals little girls in the night. I don't... I haven't been bad. I've been I've tried to be a good little girl. I think I'm doing good enough if I'm still here, right? It's in the basement. I can take you to the house. Hey, if you can find them, they're around. But I don't want to go deep into the. It's scary to be in the lower floors. If we could go to our room, or we'll stay in the foyer. But in the nursery, he's in his crib. There's a little boy clutching a sackcloth doll with two differently sized buttons and a crisscross sewn mouth, and one leg significantly shorter than the other. It is vaguely humanoid shaped. He does not make eye contact. You see he has a hood pulled up, and he just looks down, clutches his doll, and nods his head no vigorously. Rose Durst. It's not him with the leg, it's the doll. Yes. Yes, this is Thorn, but we have another brother.
We don't know. They never indicted him.
Yes,
They
Walter.
told him that he was reported injury.
Sometimes, but not since the terrors. Yes. He does not move his head and he does not look up, but he clutches the doll tighter. I don't know. It howls in the night. It they try and keep us out of that. They don't want us, you know, they try and shield us from all involvement with it, but sometimes they act as if it's not there. They to try and make us think that things are fine. Sometimes they try and say nursery rhymes over the noise, but they don't want us seeing what they do to keep it at bay. All right. We'll try. Okay. About what? Okay. You're cutting out. So whenever you ask him the name, I call him Archie. And he tries to keep me safe, but he's just a doll. Thanks. He does not smile. He does not show any change of emotion. The God Squad. Give me just 2 seconds to turn on my light in this room. It's getting kind of hard for me to read my book. So, just give me 2 seconds to stand up. There we go. It was starting to look like the area we were in here. Alright, I'm back. So, alright, are we ready to go again? Yeah. Oh, everything's creepy. So, Dad, you have the highest passive perception, I believe. You notice that as you're walking towards the house, the mist is closing in behind with every step you take. It is staying at the same distance away from you, but it's never getting farther away from you. Not unless you go up to it. It's about 30 feet away. Alright, let me look something up real fast. I would rather you do religion for that. If you would like to, I need to find my information about the mist. $19. Alright. Where is that? I saw it just a minute ago. It's probably in referenced here. I apologize for not having this marked. Chapter 2. My bad. Alright. So, the, 16 and 19. There's something off about the fog. You can definitely tell it's not natural. It seems to have a presence more than just nature would provide. Chance, you're just putting your arm into the fog, you'd said? It is thick. There's definitely a slight presence there, but it seems like extremely thick fog and mist. You putting your hand this close to the fog, it is definitely cold, and you see as briefly this spectral, ghosty, wailing face appears in the fog briefly right in front of you and dissipates. Alright, you're going to try and do turn undead on this fog. I don't think you have Channel Divinity yet. I think it's level 2. Alright. So, the fog does not chase you beyond that 30-foot reach, you know? Once it stays within 30 feet of you there, and it closes in behind you as you enter the gates of this house. It seems that there is, around the house, you can see a little bit, it seems to kind of, for the moment, since you're still in the courtyard, around the gates and the fencing of this house, it seems to be halting. But those two boarded up houses on either side, you can't see them anymore. Just vague silhouettes of the corners of the house. Isn't it nice whenever they write it in with actual lore reasons behind it too? Oh, it's great. The houses, yeah, we're just joking about how the module allows me to, yeah. So, the portico, it's, like their covered porch. There is oil lamps hanging by chains from it on either side of these big open doors. Oh, well, not open, oaken. They're not open yet. Yes, they are. Alright, so Rose will... Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed you do. So, no, not yet. So hanging, so you enter into this grand foyer, and hanging on the south wall of the foyer is a shield emblazoned with a coat of arms. It's a stylized golden windmill on a red field, and on either side of the shield are framed portraits of stony-faced aristocrats. They look... You can attempt a history check, but you should not have reason to know it at this point. With a nat 20, I could tell him a little bit of insights he might be able to just pick up on his own right now, really. Alright, so for one to have a family crest on a shield, they have to be a little bit well off at least. And with the motif of the windmill in the field, you can guess that at one point this noble line were land barons. The portraits on either side have some resemblance to the children. And you do see on the shield, it does say in calligraphy, Durst. D-U-R-S-T. Yes. So there are double doors leading over on that wall, and they have stained glass in them. No, it just seems to be a slight motif similar to the family crest that was on the shield. I mean, we haven't been home in a little while. We ran away with the last set of howling. It's been hours. They could be anywhere within the house right now. It's about the time whenever they usually go to deal with the noise. They're used to us going into the town whenever we're especially scared, and they know that we come back. Somewhere on this floor, usually. Maybe down into the basement if it's especially bad. Sometimes they bring friends down there. Not that I've seen. I mean, the main hall would be a good place to start, and she points at the double doors. Good point. Where did they put that? Our father's name is Gustav, and our mother's name is Elizabeth. Alright. Yeah. It's just, yeah, we can understand it, but it would be easier if you were. It's all good. Alright. And are you going through the doors yet? Or? Alright. Perception or investigation? Well, investigation would be for minute details like a tripwire or hidden things. Perception would just be looking for general threats. Alright. If you want to add a modifier to your roll doing this, I believe you can do it by just adding a plus and then the number, but I'm not 100% on that. Whatever your modifier is. Oh no, it's all good. But yeah, if you format your roll like that, you can put it on for me. You guys can interrupt my box checks at any moment. So. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alright, so I'll keep that in mind, and for the next little bit, that'll work as a passive perception for you. So, in this wide hall, it runs the width of the house, it seems. On one end, there's a black marble fireplace, and at the other, there is a red marble staircase. On the wall above the fireplace is a longsword with some sort of detail put into the hilt. Looks expensive, hung over the fireplace. And the wood-paneled walls are sculpted with vines, flowers, nymphs, satyrs, rich people motifs. It is going up, I believe. Yes. It looked aged, not run down. There's ivy creeping up parts of it. It doesn't look well kept, but it does not look as run down as the other houses around. The inside's a bit better kept. Not very well. But the grass was not tall. The grass looked dead and dying and patchy. And there looked like there might have once been flowers in the flower bed. The kids would have begged to stay at the entrance, though they will go into this hall if coerced. No. Let me double check. There is a cloakroom near where you are. So inside there are several black cloaks hanging from hooks and a top hat sitting on a high shelf. In the cloakroom or the main room? Roll me a perception check. Yeah, you can't see anything in there. You don't end up in Narnia this time, sadly. Yeah, I'll take that into account. You don't see anything. It just seems like a pretty simple room meant to be out of the way and out of sight. No, there's no dining table. Roll me another perception check for this room. Alright, so for one, you do see that there's a chair or two. Well, there's a chair, a love seat, and a couch over near the fireplace, and there's a nice big rug there. But as you're walking along the sides, in the carvings along the walls, now that you're close to it and you're checking to see if there's like seams or any secret passageways, you see, intermixed with these nymphs and forests, you see serpents and skulls, inconspicuously woven into the designs. And it seems to flow in a direction towards the staircase and up it, all the way up to the second floor. Alright, if you want to do a perception or investigation on those, you can. That's an S. Oh, there is another door, I believe. There's a couple of doors that I missed here. So this hall does break off into several... I went and I actually drew up the map instead of just trying to figure it out from all of the text. So, on the right, there was the double doors. Yes, that you had come in from, and so as you came in, immediately to your left was the fireplace, and to your right was the staircase. But also to the right, in between where you are on the staircase, there's a door there. There's a door directly across the hall from where you entered, and next to that is the cloakroom door. But that door is open. There's no door there. It's just a doorway. And to the right of that, there's a little alcove of similar size to the cloakroom. And there's two doors going off from that alcove. It does. Alright. So there's one door on the wall that you came from that you haven't explored. One across the room from where you entered, and then there's two more to the right of the cloakroom. If you're at the cloakroom, alright. Yeah. Either the one that's on the wall where you had come from, essentially, like it's the door next to the one that you entered from, or the one, the two that are next to the cloakroom, to the right of the cloakroom. Alright, closest to the bottom of the stairs would be the ones next to the cloakroom. There are two doors there, though. The closest, or the one next to the cloakroom. Alright. So... Alright. So... Yeah. Alright. So we'll start with Dan, then. So you open the door and you see a kitchen area. It's tidy. There's dishware, cookware, utensils placed neatly on shelves, and there's a cutting board with a rolling pin on top of it on a work table. There's a stone oven that stands near the east wall, which is across the room from you. And it has a bent iron stovepipe connecting to a hole through the ceiling. Behind the stove and to the left is a thin door. And that's all you can see. It's on the other side of the room. It is approximately 15 feet away. It is not. It is cold. Yes, and it is right next to you at this point. It appears to be a pantry. It's well stocked. No. It appears fresh, all the food. You even see a little loaf of bread just sitting there in the bread box next to you. It is sliced. Sliced bread has been invented. Oh yeah, if it was not sliced, it implies people have been here. Does not smell particularly strong in this room, though. So, you're not smelling exotic spices or anything. Alright, so, you guys entered the door next to the one that he entered. So, you enter this room and you see a big table made of mahogany with 8 high-backed chairs with sculpted armrests and cushioned seats. A crystal chandelier hangs above the table, and the table is covered with silverware and crystalware polished to a dazzling shine. Above a marble fireplace in this room is a mahogany-framed painting of an alpine vale. And along the wall paneling in this room, there are elegant images of deer among trees. Make me a perception check. And while you're doing that, chance you see that there are some windows with red silk drapes and a tapestry depicting hunting dogs and horse-mounted aristocrats chasing after a wolf. Alright. Would you like to investigate the tapestry or the wall panels? Alright. So, it is hanging by an iron rod bolted to the south wall. It looks well made, pretty expensive probably. But as you look behind it, you do catch a bit of the wall motifs, and you do see in the woodland scenes there, in the tree trunks, you see twisted faces carved into them. And you see wolves lurking among the foliage carved into the wall. Yes, though the tapestry is, as I said, is just the motifs carved into the wall. And there is another door from this room that you suspect leads back into that main chamber. No. These motifs seem to just be throughout. No response. Your suspicions were correct. It does. Yes. There's one more unexplored door on this floor that you can see. So, alright, you're up in front of the door. Alright. I love making you anxious. Oh, that's why I have Dad here. Your character's not anxious. Alright. Alright. As the door quickly opens, you see 3 wolves along the walls, and they don't move. They are. So this you are the light. Yes. So you're starting to see a pattern in this house as you enter. There's another fireplace. How many did you see outside? Let me check that. You saw 3 chimneys. Well, there were red drapes drawn. He did not say that he moved the red drapes. In the wolf room, there are 2 windows. Here, let me read the rest of the box text for you then. So the room is paneled in oak, and it looks like a hunter's den, like something out of southern Tennessee. Above the fireplace is a stag's head, and you see the 3 stuffed wolves around the edges of the room, positioned as if they are looking up, walking through a forest glade. There are 2 padded chairs draped in furs that face the hearth, with an oak table between them, with a cask of wine, 2 wooden goblets, a pipe rack, and a candelabrum. A chandelier hangs above a cloth-covered table, surrounded by 4 chairs. There are 2 cabinets against the walls, one to the east wall that has a lock on it, and one to the north wall that does not appear to be locked. It is not. And the chandelier isn't either. Dim light that is blocked even further by the curtains. Alright, you see mist. The room is dimly brighter, but not very much noticeably because there is a source of bright light in the room. So would you like to go to the unlocked cabinet? Alright. So, the unlocked cabinet is unlocked and holds a small box. No. There's also some wine glasses in this cabinet. You can roll me an insight check on the box, I suppose, if you want to determine if it's evil there, or you can try and do a religion check to see if it's unholy or desecrated. This box is an aberration to the name of Lathander himself and must be destroyed. Nah, you're just like, it looks like a box. There's a deck of cards. Why are they paranoid about two kids in obscuring mist? And one barely talks and is holding a creepy doll? Alright, make an attack. Alright, you bust the lock off and part of the door. It hangs by, one of the doors is hanging by one hinge, and you see at least one crossbow. Alright, you see a heavy crossbow, a light crossbow, and a hand crossbow, and 3 different little sets of bolts. Looks about 20 bolts in each little quiver hanging on next to each crossbow. Sure, make me a nature check. Yes. With 18, alright. Because Dan was the one who made the roll first, and he rolled high, they're made of mahogany. Both the bolts and the crossbows are made out of rich mahogany. And the heavy crossbow looks more like a Kabbalist, if you know what those are like. It's like, that's over your shoulder, like, you're gonna get a little bit of recoil here. Yeah. Alright. Alright, that passes as passive perception. You pocket the hand crossbow and the quiver of 20 bolts sized accordingly. No. Roll me investigation or perception, your choice. Alright. You can't see anything. You think that the wolf's eyes are tracking you, Chance. Yes, the 3 stuffed wolves. They look glassy. Mm-hmm. Okay. It is a spiral staircase. Well, no, it's a grand one. You can probably squeeze shoulder to shoulder with two people going up it. Okay. So, as you reach upstairs, you see another hall. There's unlit oil lamps on the walls. Hanging above the mantelpiece here, it appears to be a continuation of a fireplace down there, is a portrait of the Durst family. You see Elizabeth and Gustav, you assume, with two children, Rose and Thorn. You recognize their faces. And in the father's arms is a swaddled baby. And the mother has a weird expression towards the child in the arms of the father. There are suits of armor flanking wooden doors on the east and west, clutching spears and having visored helms in the shape of wolves' heads. The doors are carved with dancing youths, and the red marble staircase continues upward, and a cold draft can be felt coming down the steps. It continues up. It seems to be a motif all the way up the staircase. So there's two double doors in this room, to the right and the left, flanked each by two sets of armor with spears. No response. So you go up to the third floor? Alright. That is that room, yes. So, you come to a dusty balcony. There is a suit of black plate armor standing against one wall draped in cobwebs. There are oil lamps mounted on the oak panels of the walls that are carved with scenes of trees, falling leaves, and tiny critters. Yeah. There are, from this room, you see a set of double doors to the right, and part of the room you can't quite see there. There's also two doors to the left. There's a corner, so the room is not 100% square here. I don't know, how close are you getting? Alright. The whole house seems a bit ominous in the same way as the ground and the mist were. Good question. Let me check. Well, not necessarily. Let me check. I need to search each of these individual rooms. Just give me a moment. Yeah, so to the left, like directly to the left, there is an undead presence. In one of the rooms. One of the two rooms on that side. The armor, you do not get any undead, fiend, any of those presences from, no. I believe so. Yeah. It doesn't say specifically, but yeah, that makes sense to me. But it is black instead of the silver that you saw before. Like, up to it and inspect it. Alright. It swings at you and misses. Roll initiative! Yes. Huh? Yes. If you simply just type in the roll and put plus the modifier. Alright, so who has the higher dex mod? Alright, so then re-roll and see who gets higher, and we'll put those in that order. What was my father's? Oh, so. If you want to decide who goes first, you can. Okay. I'll write out a turn order for you. Yeah. Oh, there's two L's in your name. Why am I now in caps lock? And then... Please do. $24 does hit. All right. All right. Yes, you are 5 feet away from it. This one does not have a spear, by the way, like the other two did downstairs. This one's just a suit of black armor. It is not carrying any weapon. Yes. I believe so, yes. Or at least this version of it. Yep. Alright. Yes. Nope. He's a paladin. He's a level 1 paladin. And no one's hurt, except for... Unless you want to heal my animated armor. You could do that if you wanted to. Alright. Mystic. That hits? Yeah. Roll damage. So that's 10 more damage to it. Nice. Beating the pally so far. Nice. Most damage done. And are you doing anything with your bonus action, Father? Let me look at your support. His support spells. Not all of your cantrips, but some of the cantrips, I think. No, guidance is an action, and yeah. So yeah, you can't do anything with your bonus action at the moment. So, Melik, You hit. Yep, you hit. $1d6 plus dex. Alright. Alright, and with your 2-weapon fighting, you do get your modifier, so that's nice. You're using a finesse weapon. If you're using scimitar. You could say immediately right now you're using short swords, and then you could use your strength, but... It's fine. Well, actually, technically, the light weapons are not necessarily dex, are they? That's weird. Finesse. Yep. So yeah, you're good. So you can be a strength-based person using a rapier. Oh, I know what my next character is gonna be. Alright. So that was a 10. That misses. Alright, so now we're at my turn. My favorite turn. So he will attack the person in front of him. 18 AC, thank you for letting me know. He's gonna swing at you twice with his arms. That is a 21 to hit. And an 18 to hit. He hits both. Yep. Luckily, he rolled very low on his damage. So that is, in all, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bludgeoning damage in all. From 2 hits. That's 2 hits. You did about 8 damage, every single one of you, whenever you hit it. Yeah, it hit you twice. It has a slam attack that does a d6 plus 2. It's animated armor, man. Yes, it is your turn. By the way, if this thing had blood, it would be bloodied by, like, the second hit you guys put on it. I don't want to say it's dented because it's armor, and you might want that. It is currently magic filled, so 18 does hit. That is its AC as well. Seven damage. Alright, you hit it. And alright, so that 1d8 plus wisdom. If you want to do it that way, you do know, since you traveled with him, that he does have healing reservoirs himself. I believe that's what he was going to mention. You sure you don't want to do something like your cantrips? Well, Word of Radiance would make a Constitution save to take the damage, so that might work a bit, you know, since it seems to have the AC of full plate, you know. But you have been hitting it very reliably so far. Oh, that would hit your friends as well. That is an AoE. That's a 15-foot cone emitting from your hands of fire that people have to make dex saves. Granted, I don't think this thing like, from looking at it, it doesn't seem very fast to you. Alright. That hits. how would you like to kill this thing? Slam the helmet. Turn towards the mic, please. Lathander. Alright. So, you scream out your righteous war cry, and you beam your mace across the helmet, and it flies off and clatters against the door to your side. And the suit falls down to one knee and then splatters across the floor in its individual pieces of the armor. Lots and lots and lots of noise. Yes, there is one black set of full plate with a wolf helm. Dad cannot wear heavy armor yet. No, but Chance does have proficiency. This stuff does kind of reminisce. If I had to compare it to something in modern media, it looks kind of like the Berserk set from Berserk. Well, 10 minutes to get undressed, and then 10 minutes to get dressed. If you guys help him, that will reduce the time by half. Roll me a charisma check. To see how, Alright, you do not feel anything from this, Dan. There's a slight addendum, actually, I need to throw in right now. Whenever you did your Divine Sense, there was another set of presences farther upstairs. The stairway ended, but farther upstairs in the opposite direction of the house from where you felt the presence that you did feel, you feel two other weaker presences. Undead. Okay. There's two doors over here on that side of the armor. One of them is the one that you felt the presence for. The other one is closer. The gauntlet. It's a visored helmet that it looks slightly wolfish. Yes. No. Cool black looking armor. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Plus his wisdom. Especially after that one charisma check. Yes. Through chances, Mike, though. Which door? I mean, it's still 18 AC. Oh, no, you're using your you have the shield, so it's 20 for you now. Nice. Yep. If you want to like kick it off its hinges, sure, make a strength-based attack. It's the mahogany, man. It's the mahogany. Okay. So you open this door and there's a cloud of dust and cobwebs. You see this is a bedroom with an adjoining nursery. There are double doors with stained glass that seem to have a balcony past it. I don't need the stuff that you're not allowed to know. I need the stuff that you are allowed to know. So you do see a figure. Well, actually, no, you don't. My bad. There's the conditions. Nice. So you see a large bed, 2 end tables, and an empty wardrobe. Mounted on the wall next to the wardrobe is a full-length mirror with an ornate wooden frame to look like ivy and berries. And you do see the adjoining nursery. I think there's no berries or anything. It's just kind of half of the room there. The nursery has a crib covered with a hanging black shroud. And there appears to be a bundle of cloth in the crib. The floor has a bit of a section where you can like see where this is obviously the nursery, this is the bedroom. It is coming from in that general, like, on the verge in between them. You do so. Alright. You can do a religion check if you'd like. And you scream this into this room. 13? So, you know that sometimes spirits, especially in an area of high necromantic magic, tend to latch on, especially if they have some task that is uncompleted or their spirit was especially disturbed in the way that they perished. They're not always visible. Sometimes they will they've attached themselves to some object, some location, and will only be shown if that is disturbed. So, if you step into the nursery as your friend says, no, 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 yes. You valiantly poke the air, as next to you and next to your mace appears a skeletal, terrified, thin young woman. She's gaunt, translucent, and she's attacking you. We can reroll initiative, or we can use the previous one if you'd like to, but I get one attack off on my father. So she will attempt to grab onto you with a 10. Yeah, she misses. It is up to you guys. Yes. Wait, give me a second. Chance, what's your dex mod? Can you roll a straight d20 for me? And what was Dad's? Mystic? Alright. It's fine. Chance, what was that straight? Alright. Good for you. And so I'll let you do that as a free action. The mouth moves, but you don't hear any noise. All right. Twenty hits. I will, because what you suspect is semi-true. 5 for hit or damage? Damage. Alright. So, you do hit it and you see that it does react, but it does not have the oomph you expected. For one, your mace goes like near straight through it, but it does react a bit to it. It does not appear to have done as much as you expected. Yeah, with your religion check and being a cleric, you know that generally they are at least resistant to non-magical attacks. Cleric in the... Alright, trying to interpose yourself. I'll just keep that in mind. I will say your burning hands does affect the environment as well, Father. Just letting you know that right now before you're like, I'm going to burn it all. Because, for one, you're in a wooden room, and two, there's a crib right next to her. There is a bundle of claws that is roughly baby-shaped in the crib. Every creature that you choose within 5 feet of you must make a Constitution save or take 1d6 radiant damage. Alright, so you want to do Reward of Radiance, so I get to make a Constitution save. It fails. Roll 1d6. No modifier. Yeah, it's a cantrip. Yes. I mean, I can if you want me to, but... So it takes that 1 damage. Well, the run radiant damage, whatever that translates into actual damage. Any other monsters with... Yes, I took that into account. And that d6 would translate to them as well. Maybe. Would you choose the bundle as a target? Nothing happens to the bundle. That was a risky move. I guess we all know what Chance is going to do once he gets back, but is there anything you'd like to do with your bonus action, free action, or movement, Father? So something that you missed is that Dad tried to Word of Radiance the bundle in the crib and nothing happened. Nothing creature. The specter was, but not the bundle of cloth. He's thinking. That's 13. 13 hits. The problem isn't hitting. You can do that every turn that you like. It is an action, it's a cantrip, you can do it as many times as you'd like. But it only does that 1d6 damage. 6 damage. $11 misses. Alright, so the only person not within range of it is the cleric. Since you're the last person to swing at it, Chance, it will try and claw at you to grab onto your arm as you swing at it. That is a 19 to hit. Alright, I need you to make a Constitution save as I roll the base damage. Yes. Oh, not good. Alright, you succeed the Constitution save. But you do take from just the claw running through you 14 necrotic damage. I'm assuming you're unconscious. Okay. That ends her turn. Yes. Spare the Dying would help, but it would not bring him back conscious. Any actual healing spells would bring him conscious again. Not while you're unconscious, no. Once you're conscious, then you can use a bonus action. He just needs a little bit of healing, and then he can finish it himself. Yes, it is back to your turn. Okay. Alright. Please do. Hits. Alright. It is bloody. Alright. Mystic. Just to let you know, your other spells, like your actual leveled spells, do more damage. Just letting you know. Sacred Flame? You did not take Sacred Flame. Alright. Oh, Sacred Flame is one of the cantrips you could have taken. My bad. Burning Hands was automatic for him. Yeah, so Burning Hands does not count towards that, and there might be another one that does not count towards that. These are important things. Yeah, Burning Hands and Fairy Fire you automatically know. Nothing. So Fairy Fire gives other people advantage to hit it. It does an AoE of glowy, and everything with that in that area that fails a dex check, all attacks against them have advantage. You have your Wisdom modifier plus 1 number of spells that you know. It's a ranged radiant damaging spell that also gives advantage on the next hit against it. Except you actually have to roll to hit, and it actually does decent damage. So, alright. Yes. But it does a snotload of radiant damage. So you roll to hit using your proficiency in Wisdom. Yeah. Alright, you hit. It would be proficiency and Wisdom. But that's fine. Roll 4d6. Yeah. And then the next attack against the target has advantage. What? Alright. How would you like to kill this? Because that was its precise health. Alright. You shoot this guiding bolt, whispering a prayer and clutching your holy symbol. And as you clutch onto this sunrise over this dirt road symbol hanging from your neck, you whisper a prayer to Lathander, and you feel his arm around yours as you send this bolt of pure divine light crashing into its chest as it bursts into flame that does not give off heat. It's this divine light that grows from its center and eats it up until there is nothing left. It goes eerily silent in the room. Alright, there is a bundle of cloth and a shroud. Alright, you see the tightly wrapped baby-sized bundle. Nothing. No, nothing. You can use your bonus action to second wind. Would be the best way for you to. Your cleric's out of spells. There's a bed right there next to you. Why? Because I'm encouraging it? Maybe. Yeah, I have a book with it right here, but I just haven't. I'm flipped over to cleric. Shame it's not Constitution. That makes my fighter worse. Alright. 8 hit points. Congratulations. If you had failed that Constitution save, you would have died. It was a low DC, though. Half of your hit die. Yeah. Rounds up. Alright. So, that, yes. There, in this room, you do see a couple of things still that you have not fully investigated. I'll let me just go over the room for you. So there's a balcony with stained glass doors. There is a large bed with 2 end tables and a wardrobe. Next to the wardrobe on the wall is a full-length mirror with nice motifs around it as well. And there's the crib. No. The nursery? Alright. Next to the crib there is the mirror, but the full-length mirror. Alright. Make a perception check. Alright. For one, in the motif with the whole berries and stuff around it, it has like ivy and berries, but some of the berries are carved to look like eyeballs, which is weird. And you feel a draft coming from behind the mirror. Alright. So, it pushes open easily to reveal a cobweb-filled wooden staircase leading up to an attic. It is empty. Who's William? Oh, Will. Oh, Will. Oh, what was it? The little child. I thought. Walter. So next to the balcony doors, there's another door. Oh no, my bad. No, that's just the chamber with the crib in it. My bad. It's just set up weirdly. Why not? You see fog. The view is obscured. Alright, so inside there is a notebook. It looks like a journal, maybe. Alright, you sit down. It is not. It is written in Common, in a very broken, uneducated Common at that. So, this appears to be the journal of the nursemaid. She used to just be a maid, for a while. She was in charge of of Rose and Thorn. It lists loving descriptions of the master of the house. What was his name? Gustav. In-depth descriptions about how the light hits his face. And then there's an especially in-depth bit on some of the activities that they partook between Gustav and this handmaiden. And then about 9 months after that entry, the handmaiden has a stillbirth. But leading up to that, she writes about being excited to have Gustav's baby, Wilbur. Not Wilbur, Walter. And was the nursemaid's. No. The baby was stillborn. The nursemaid did not... There's more entries after that. Not many, but a few. A lot about her being sad. And the master being more and more anxious and inviting more and more guests to the house. She says that she could swear that the wind sometimes sounds like screaming. But her last entry talks about being invited to one of the master's parties as a guest. This isn't the best teacher. It seems like she was kind of there and Gustav was kind of in the mood and kind of took liberty. Alright, up the secret stairs. Alrighty then. They are straight for once. Slightly odd to you that they would be. So it goes up and then it turns 90 degrees to the left, and there's a door at the top of the stairs. Nope. It's just an actual door. Everything's mahogany. Well, actually, a lot of these rooms were specifically oaken, and I mentioned those, but yes. So, as you open this door, it leads into a room. You see that there is a padlock on one of the doors. And there's down past that door, down that wall, there's another door. And then a door across a small alcove there as well. And then straight to your left, there's another door. There's 4 doors, one with a padlock. Divine Sense. Okay. The door that has the lock, you sense the 2 small spirits. You can cast on someone, and then that person has a D4 to add to ability checks. As long as you concentrate on it for a minute. Yeah, you just keep on recasting it and just make one of your allies very good at something. Yeah. Especially good. Guidance on the Paladin. Alright. Lathander. The non-locked door? Alright. No. Alright, you see what looks to be a spare bedroom. It is dust-choked. There's a slender bed, a nightstand, a small iron stove, a writing desk with a stool, a wardrobe, a rocking chair, and a creepy doll in a lacy yellow dress sitting on the northern window box, cobwebs draping it like a wedding veil. Alright. Alright. The doll stares into your soul. It's weird. It's very creepy how the cobwebs sit on it, because it looks almost like a wedding veil. Alright. The writing desk has a empty inkwell and a couple of pieces of paper and a quill. The wardrobe is empty again. The nightstand has nothing on it. Nope. Alright, investigate it would be an investigation check. See if it's evil would be probably an insight. No. Lathander doesn't deal in creepy dolls. Hi, Patty. Who's a good kitty? Alright. So, you notice on the doll's leg there's a tag. Do you look at the tag? It says in colorful lettering, "Is no fun, is no blinksy." Here. It's almost like a tag where you'd see like a brand name in our reference. So it's like the maker's stamp, essentially, but on a tag attached to the leg of this cloth doll. You are back in the main room of this floor. Close the door behind you? Alright. Roll to hit. You can add your d4. Since this is technically more of a strength check to try and bust the lock than an actual attack, I will let you. Normally you can't. What? 9? This lock seems a bit sturdier. Less rusted through. It's an actual padlock. Alright. $19. The lock busts off. So, you open the door. This room contains a bricked-up window flanked by 2 dusty wood-framed beds sized for children. Closer to the door is a toy chest with windmills painted on its side, and a dollhouse that's a perfect replica of the dreary edifice in which you stand. These furnishings are draped in cobwebs, and lying in the middle of the floor are 2 small skeletons, wearing tattered but familiar clothing. The smaller of the 2 cradles a familiar stuffed doll that you recognize. You hear a hollow shuffling of feet from some invisible, indistinct location in the room. What? Who are you? We've been right here. At this point, you see 2 small spectral forms of Rose and Thorn. I don't know. Yes, it's my dollhouse. Please don't touch it. No. That... I haven't met you before, sir. I can't hear you, sir. Please speak up or into your mic. They locked us in here to protect us from the monster in the basement, but we got hungry, and we died. These children know that they're dead. Probably the monster. She quickly puts out an arm towards the dollhouse and says, There's a secret door in the attic. Yes. It's in the attic, on the dollhouse as well. Alright, so she points out a secret door. Yes. So there's been a portion of the house that has, there's not been anything in that space. There appears to be a tight staircase in between the two chimneys on the west wall. She says, you can enter it from up here, and it should lead you all the way down to the basement. It's... if you... we can't leave unless we, put ourselves onto you. Not necessarily control, but co-pilot. Deal with the monsters. Yes? Nancy? No. She was always sweet. She would let us play in the garden and get us toys from Blinksy. Mother never really liked him, but Father was devastated whenever he came out the way he did. We never really interacted with him much. She thinks. I think so. I never held him or saw him up close. Please don't leave us here. Well, we can join in into your bodies, but we can't leave this room without your help, really. By the way, you're saying this to the children over their dead skeletons. Oh, do they? So you two who are holy can make religion checks on restless spirits to see if there's any way that you can settle them. Because they might not necessarily know all the information, because they've just been in this room. Alright, so Mystic, you figure that their remains have not been put to rest. You also figure this is a rich family. Perhaps they already have tombs reserved for them. Perhaps if the bones are buried, the spirits will be put to rest. You do know that being a vessel for these spirits would not taint you, per se. If they were malicious spirits, they could try and take over your body. But there have been reports of people just riding along in other people's bodies, giving them information, trying to give them aid in putting them to rest. You also know that only one spirit can be riding along in a body at once. Yes, you can. If you want to just use your previous religion check. if you'd like to make a religion check, or you can use the one that you just rolled before, you know that Lathander is not necessarily... Yeah, he would want them to be put to rest, and whatever that would take, so that they could go to their new dawn. Alright, which one would you like to ride with you? He wants which one? He wants the important word. Alright, so whenever you're possessed by Rose, Dad, you gain the following flaw. I like being in charge and get angry when other people tell me what to do. And Chance becomes a little bit more scared. Yes. Would you like to take the remains? Alright. They have their clothing on them, so you can wrap them in their own clothing. In distinct bundles, I suppose? Yeah. Do you be sure not to mix the bones, or are you just throwing them all in the sack? Alright. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. So. Yes. They're still around, but now their voices are kind of in the heads of the hosts, so you have to ask the host, and the host hears the answer. The family crypt is down there, yes. Haven't been down there. It's scary and spiders. Okay. Alright, just go into the main room here, and then if you turn right out of this door, it will be the door to your left there. Should lead you into the room that has the entrance. Alright, so you go into this room. This room... Dun 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 dun. This dusty chamber is packed with old furniture. Chairs, coat racks, mirrors, dress mannequins, and the like. All draped in dusty white sheets. Near an iron stove underneath one of the sheets is a trunk. Yeah. You open the trunk. Inside is the skeletal remains of someone wrapped in a bed sheet stained with dried blood. Adult size. You can make a medicine check if you want to find out more. Sure is dead. So, Father, you recognize this as an adult woman, and it appears she has been stabbed several times. Like it would be... what? Yes. Very much so. Without suspicion, the clothing looks oddly familiar. And... alright. Nice. So, towards the east wall is where you had seen the, secret entrance in the dollhouse. So, you don't need to search for this because you have seen it in the dollhouse. So, as you go down, you open this door and there's a tight staircase going down. A narrow spiral staircase made of creaky wood is contained within a 5-foot wide shaft of mortared stone that starts in the attic and goes down 50 feet. There's thick cobwebs, and you can barely see but up to 5 feet in front of you. What? From the cobwebs. Yes. You just trunce down these stairs. Alright, so the wooden spiral staircase ends, and there's a narrow tunnel that stretches southward before branching to the east and the west. And as you enter this room, well, the hallway there, you hear an eerie, incessant chant echoing throughout it. You can't tell where it's from yet, and you cannot discern the words. You're cut up. Not from where you are now. The family crypts should just be to the left and right here. From there on, I don't know. I haven't been far down here because usually my parents catch me. The dollhouse doesn't show the underground bits. Yes, you have Thorn. You feel his fear. He's in your body. Yes. And you guys found the secret stairs down to the basement, and Rose has said that their family crypt is like right here. Both to the left and to the right. Alright. She guides you immediately after you turn left, you turn right, and it splits into 2 doors. These are fitted with stone slabs. Wait, no, these ones aren't. These are otherwise marked. Cool. So there's stone slabs leaned against the walls, but not against the doors. To the left, there's one that is empty completely, and to the right, it is inscribed with the name Walter Durst. Was the baby. Each of them is for one person. So the one to the left is completely empty and unmarked, and the one to the right is labeled Walter. That is all that you see here. There are down the other way from where you went. If you had turned right, you would find the other crypts. Alright, of the maid. Alright. Yes. Do you seal it with the stone? Would you like to... You could utilize the crowbar in your kit to gain advantage. Someone make a strength check with advantage other than the cleric. Athletics check specifically. You get to add your athletics. Alright. So Dima gets out his crowbar and he turns around to help, and you've just gone and just picked it up, plumped it down, and sealed the crypt shut. And that was the one that was unmarked, and Walter's is just straight empty. Walter's tomb is open and empty. Okay, so as you go down the other way, as Rose tells you, there's doors to your right and your left, and they both lead to crypts. Left is always right, so you're going to go with the one to your left. Cool. You enter into a chamber similar to the previous one, except these doors are sealed. One is labeled with Gustav, and the other one's labeled with Elizabeth. They are sealed, unless you want to try and unseal them. Alright. Aww. Alright. So, would you like to go across the hall? So, these are two sealed doors, one labeled Rosavalda Durst, and the other one labeled Thornbolt Durst. They are sealed. This is where the family meant for us to be interned. They probably were preventing insects from getting in. Make me an athletics check. Are you going to use your crowbar? Well, the crowbar of the group. Alright, you put your hand against the stone and just pull it out without even grabbing. And the slab opens, and you see an empty coffin on a stone bier. Yes, the lid is next to it. There is nothing else in this room. Alright. So, as you put the bones in the body, Mystic, you feel a weight relieved from you. You no longer have that flaw. Yes. Actually, with their nat 20, we're just going to assume you can do it. Always. From now on. I didn't even look, so. Alright. I need to look up something specifically. Alright. Each of you gains 2 points of inspiration, DM inspiration, that you can use to get advantage. You get 1 per child. Yes. You can use them whenever, and you can save them for as long as you'd like. Oh, by the way, you're level 2. You are now level 2. Cool rewards. Alright. Well, there's more ways to go. Yeah, the passageways on either side continue. You went left just a little bit, like 5 feet, and then you went right, like 15 feet. Both doors continue. Both hallways continue. You have leveled up, so you can roll your hit dice and stuff. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a little bit more complicated for Mr. Paladin guy, but... Isn't second level where you choose your oath? Oh yeah, you already chose, didn't you? Basically. Alright. And since you level up, I'll give you all a long rest as well. Ah, cool. Of a cleric? All good. So, 1d8 plus Constitution for your hit points. So you get like 2 extra. Or you could take the average. 1 more than the average. Yes. So you take 5. So I'll let you do the average anyways. So at second level for you, here. There you go, Father. There's another one coming with the second half of that feature, but that's all you get there. And then I think... yeah, you have 3 first level spell slots now. And you get to learn 1 more spell. Oh, and you get a Divine Domain feature. My bad. Long rested, yes. Yes. And... Here's all of your... Here's your subclass junk. You have to zoom in. So your Channel Divinity, you can use... This is your Turn Undead. Yeah. If you just send in the PDF, that'll work as well. You can use your... Yeah. So... You can use your Channel Divinity once per rest. So all clerics have Turn Undead, which is one of the ways you can use your Channel Divinity. And that is your action. You cause every undead that can hear or see you within 30 feet to make a wisdom save or become turned. And that means that they have to spend their turns moving as far away as they can. And they cannot take reactions. And they can only dash for their actions. But you can also do the other one that you have from being a light domain, yes. That's your Radiance of the Dawn. As an action, you can present your holy symbol, and any magical darkness within 30 feet of you is dispelled, and each hostile creature within 30 feet of you must make a con save, or take radiant damage equal to 2d10 plus your cleric level on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. You also have Warding Flare as something that you can just use. You can... When you're attacked by a creature within 30 feet of you that you can see, you can use your reaction to give it disadvantage. And that is, you can use a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier per long rest. Yes, light. What? Once per rest. So that's short rest or long rest. It'll increase as you level up. There's your easier to read formats. Alright. It's action surge, yeah. It's an action surge. You get to use it, and it gives you like an extra turn on top of your turn. It's amazing. It's I believe so. I think it's just the action. Yes. So, yes. And that'll stack whenever you get extra attack. Since you're a fighter, you're meant to be able to be completely refreshed on a short rest. Alright. You're solid, Dan's solid. Dad, you liquid at least? I heard robot. Non-Newtonian fluid, we'll take it. That works. So, you feel strangely invigorated. Nice, that's an extra +1 AC. Ah, you can interpose. Nice. Yep. You're at your maximum, basically. Oh, so you can get... Yes. You could go up there and grab one of those plate sets that were sitting. There's like 4 sets of plates sitting around. That's 18. It would give you the same amount of disadvantage on your stealth as you're currently getting from scale, I think. Well, your AC becomes 18, not your Dex mod. You're not proficient in heavy armor. We can retcon if you want to. I'll let you retcon and say that you took one of the suits of armor. Because that would take forever and, well, you're in the basement now. Full plate. This is basically a silver version of what he's wearing. Though it's made out of iron, not silver, it's just silver colored. Just specifying. You do not get the pure holy metal that would make everything a breeze for you. So. Yeah, it looks reddish. Is it the Berserk armor? Alright. the rest of this. Which direction do you go? Down by where the Empty and Walter's crypts were, or down the nearer way that opens into a room? There's a chanting that you cannot quite tell where it is coming from yet. And you cannot quite tell the details either. Give me a second. So you're checking, you want to go to the room? Alright. So, the room that you can see, you're going down that way? Yeah, I know. Alright, partially because I wasn't paying attention the first two times because I got distracted both times on different things. So, this room contains a plain wooden table, flanked by long benches. Moldy humanoid bones lie strewn on the dirt floor. In the middle of the south wall is a darkened alcove. It looks almost like a morbid dining hall, where a large group of people, not very well off, like this is just like a plain wooden table, sat and ate. There is bloodstains on the table itself. And a couple on the table. Perhaps. Or they died here. Yes, you can. There's a tunnel across the room from where you entered. There is 4 undead presences there, and I need to see if what you only get to see fiends, celestials, and undead, right? Alright. Yeah. So. Alright, so you sense there's 4 undead presence, and the whole time you've been around, everything's been slightly desecrated since you woke up in this fog. Especially, well, not any different than outside in the level of desecration. I will assume neither of you have whatever you were saying because I can't hear what you said. That requires the Hollow spell. That is a much higher level spell than you can cast. I think that Ceremony is a spell that you could take, Dad. It's a first level spell, and you'd be able to bless water with it if you had silver powder. But, yeah. That's the closest thing that you can do. It's also the spell that allows you to marry people. Yeah, you do feel those. So it ups your AC temporarily. So there is that alcove, there's the tunnel ahead of you that you sense the undead presence, and there's another tunnel to the right. There is an alcove that's just like a little alcove as well that does not lead anywhere. It's just a dark... It looks like some sort of storage room. What? A thorough search of this room that you're in? Are you going to be the person to go check out the alcove? Alright, so you both walk up to the alcove in sync. Alright. Father, for no particular reason, what's your armor class? What was it? 17. Okay. So something slithers and leaps out at you and tries to attack you. It looks horrid. Snake-like, more tentacle-y. No. Like it is... Here. So, give me a second. Save image. Well, you'll need to roll initiative first. Let me just copy the image and post it in Discord so you can see what you're looking at. And a beak. So, Chance, we need to roll again. You and I. Alright. So who had the highest? Okay. Missed. And... Alright, so that's our initiative. Mystic! Right? 18 to hit. 18 hits. So that's how much? So it's just 5 damage. Alright. 5 bludgeoning damage. Alright. It seems to not take all of that. It is listed in Discord. Oh no, it is me. Cool. So, it will attack you twice, but I'm guessing the first attack will have advantage, right? Not advantage, disadvantage. Because you are next to your paladin buddy who's probably going to use his reaction. It's attacking the cleric. Well, it has an interesting multi-attack thing where it has to hit with the first attack to hit with the second attack. So. Alright, so that's an 18 or a 12, and the 12 is plus 4, so that's 16. It misses. Time to smite it. Hits. Alright. It does not take all of that. Are you going to action surge? Alright. Oh, hits and crits. So, here we get to make a decision. I talked with Dan about this earlier. We can use one of two crit systems. The usual, where you roll the dice and double the dice and then add your modifier. Or we can have you do max damage and then add one of the damage dice. For whatever you choose, the enemies get that too. Yes, Yes. So one of them would give you a substantial crit every time and not risk you rolling a 1 on the die and hey look, you crit for 2. Alright, so roll your damage and then add another d6. Well, not roll your damage, just roll 1d6. That's all you need to roll. So you have 10 plus whatever this is. You don't add your modifier, so it's just 3. So it's 10 plus 3. So that's... Alright. 13, yes. And... Yes, it was. It's on your turn. It's your action. All of his are. All of his are. Ward of Radiance is an action. Dema. Alright, you have your spell slots back, Dad. And another spell slot. Alright. Yeah, let me, Yeah, you just miss it and you hit the wall and one of the bricks falls out and stubs your toe. No. I just want you to take embarrassment damage. Alright. Your embarrassment dies. Good for you. Yes, it is. So Guiding Bolt is a ranged attack and you're currently in melee with it. If you do a ranged attack in a melee range, you'll have disadvantage. Unless you want to step back 5 feet and risk an attack of opportunity, it would be harder for you to get this off. Word of Radiance is a cantrip, does not take up your spell slot, but it would only do a d6 of damage. Okay, I'll roll my Constitution save. What's your spell save DC? It's 8 plus 2 plus your... Yeah. So, it takes no damage because it's saved. So now it is its turn. The person who stopped it from attacking someone else. It misses. Hits. Finally, something with a corpse. It seems offended. Um, 15 misses. Just not as much as you expect. 13 does miss. Yeah. 10 misses. Faja. Word of Radiance again? Alright, I will try my Constitution save again. It deals no damage. It's because it saved. It saved. Lathander saves, and so does the Skrick. Yes, it is. Why did I put my dice tray away? Alright, here we go. Speaking of it missing attacks on you, it doesn't. Yes, that's a 21 to hit. That would be 6 slashing damage with its tentacles. It then gets to make an attack with its beak. That is another 21. 6 piercing. Not unless you take a certain feat. Or have enchanted plate. So, yes. Misses. Meow. What are you doing? Meow. Meow. I'm having fun with Spencer's cat. Yes. She's around. Spencer's had a cat. Now we have his cat. It needs more shots. Yes. I'm gonna roll a d20 on my end, like I did with you, to determine how bad it is for you. Alright. You also stub your toe and get a point of emotional damage. This thing is like so full of anger and has barely been able to do anything. It's like the little toddler that you're holding at arm's length, like against the forehead, just swinging at you wildly. But you're not really doing much to it either. It's not bloody yet. Yes, you'd risk an attack of opportunity, but it would get disadvantage, yes, because Dema is next to it. Alright, it fails. Poorly. No, I was rolling disadvantage. So. It doesn't get the second attack unless it hits the first. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It fails almost as bad as that. Let me roll my severity die. Oh no. No, not quite. Which one of you is to the left of him, and which one of you is to the right? I'm gonna roll a dice. I'll say to the left is Dema, to the right is Melik. Alright. So, Dad, make another spell attack to see if you can hit your new target. Evens or odds, Chance? Evens or odds? Roll damage. It's 4d6. So, you shoot, and your bolt flies towards your paladin, who then ducks as it flies straight into the mouth of this thing, and it kills it. Jesus be praised. How are you? So that alcove is otherwise empty. Yeah, it's slimy. It has a beak and 4 tentacles that are nice and crispy. You don't do so for long. You're going towards the undead? Alright. So this hallway turns to the right and then to the left, and it seems to have a T-juncture. Do you go down into the T-juncture? You feel the presence right at that juncture. You know that they are undead. That's the type thing, is you sense the undead feigned fae, but you also know which one of those it is. Yes, that is the type. Alright. Who's ready for fight? So, so since you can see where these should be, so you know that they're not exactly on the middle of this juncture. There's there's 2 straight forward in the juncture, one right into that splitting, and there's 2 to your left. So which one would you like to try and attack first? Alright, we'll get to that, but I'm giving you a surprise round on them. Alright. No, it's only him. Unless he had holy weapon, he couldn't. If he had a holy or magic weapon, he could, but he does not. Alright, so you're going to go and around the corner and where you think it will form, swing. So you're going to go to the closest one, which is the one that's to the left, and where you think it will form based off of your divine sense, swing at it before it can rise. Alright. Alright. I think that since it has not technically, equivalent to woken up, I will let you crit this thing as yes, because I will consider it to be the equivalent of undead unconscious right now, as it has not sensed you. That would also, yes. But yeah. Alright. So you watch as this ghoul just rises up, and in the other bits where you recognize they'd be, they also rise up from the ground, and as it rises, you swing at it, and you basically sweep out the legs from it, and it falls to the ground prone. It seems to be barely holding on. Yes. No. Yes, and all four could see you if you ran ahead of your paladin into that T-juncture. If you were in that T-juncture. So you would have attacked it before you reached the T. So you're technically right before the T-juncture, and you swung around the corner at it to try and get it before it would form. Alright, that is something on my end, right? Yeah. Constitution saving throw. And it is radiant damage, and a snot load of it too. You're basically guiding bolting them all. It's great. That's their con. Cool. And your DC is 13. So that's a save, a fail. So one of them saves, and that's the first one of them. So that's the one that's only, yeah. So no matter what you roll, that guy's dead. Even though he saved. Alright. So he takes 5 damage, and the rest of them take 10. Alright. You do this, and you hear them hiss at you, but the one of them just dies. Like, he just falls, like he was prone anyways, because he got his legs swept from underneath him. He pathetically lifts a claw and then falls to the ground. And then these are, it's neither here nor there on each of them, but these are specifically spirit ones. Because they do rise up out of the ground. So I will rule that these ones are the incorporeal ones. Whenever they do come out of the ground, though, like until they're defeated, they are solid. Yes. So he would have only moved He could very easily step back behind you, except there is one guy within melee range still. He would have moved only like 10 feet. You are not within 5 feet of this one that would get an attack of opportunity on him. So you would not be able to interpose your defense. Yes. Alright. And you still emit the bright light from radiance of the thing. I think that just lasts more than just the flash. No, it's just those are dispelled. Alright, you're good. It just dispels magical darkness, which there is none. Cool. By the light of Lathander, you compelled them, and one of them was compelled to disintegrate. Would you like to move? Near bloody. Alright. One of them will swipe at you with a 16 to hit. Alrighty then. I believe that their initiative was better than yours. Yeah. Alright. So they're going to try and charge, but they're going to run into a steel wall made of paladin. So 2 of them only will be able to make attacks here. The third one will not be able to get close enough because his friends are in the way. So first person is going to try and claw you. And that's a 23 to hit. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. No. And then the other one fails to hit you. Alright, it's a DC of 10. Nice. So you take 7 slashing damage from its claw. And you feel a necrotic poison try and overtake you and try and seize up your muscles, but you flex it off because it didn't even pierce your armor really that much. So yeah, it's not technically necrotic damage. It's a con save or be paralyzed. Yeah, they're not fancy undead. They just get slashing. And that will be their turn. So now Chance. Alright, there's 2 of them next to your pally buddy. I'm guessing is letting you go through. Okay. That hits. Alright. On the same target. Yes, there is. There's 2 within melee range of you and another one right behind them. Alright. Alrighty then. Up, back. Unless you'd like to action surge. Alright. Dema. Alright. There's one that looks ripe for smiting and another one looking semi-ripe for smiting. Alright. The one that's more ripe. Almost rotten, because they're undead. Smart. Alright. One of your 2 points of inspiration. $12 hits. $12 is the AC. This one's very close to death. Yeah, you might not want it on this one. I think that you can probably kill it with just normal. Yeah. He could have, if he maxed damage to smite, he could one-shot these things. From full health. It's dead. Alright, Mystic. On one of the 3 remaining. I'm guessing the gentleman in the back? There's 2 remaining, yes. There's only 2 remaining. Yes. No, it's not totally unwounded. You near bloodied it earlier. Plus wisdom and proficiency. And you miss. So it is now their turn. Nah, I like it this way. I get to see it. He has those prisms. It's how he rolls. Slashing damage to the paladin. One of them hit. Yes. You need some flux tape. Melik. Hits. Eight damage. All right. They're both about equal at this point because they moved. The other one moved up to replace his fallen brother. They're the same damaged. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that one's it. But there's 2 remaining. The one that you just hit right now. Sweet. The other one. Alright, cool. Can't do that with virtual dice. That hits in a half. It's dead. Yes. Okay. This one has only been radienced. 16 hits. He still has that, so smite is technically a constant... No, it's not, because it's not a spell, unless you do a special smite. Alright. It's an ability unless you do the special flavors. If you add the cherry, then, 8 damage. Alright. Cleric. There is one very, very damaged